I talk about self-validation so much because a lot of the times when I'm expressing my anger or I'm angry at someone, it's coming from a place of like, why don't they get it? Why don't they understand? Like I'm thinking about the example you gave, Zanny, where you went to your house mother at this treatment program that you were at. I'm guessing like what you needed her to understand was that this cat like was important to you. You were worried about this cat, right? And she was focusing on the logistics of the cat. But like what was happening for you in that moment is you were like, I'm really worried about this cat, right? And so this is where like I am so grateful for my therapist for teaching me self-validation and why I teach it with all my clients. Because like if I'm able to really attend to myself and like listen to my own feelings and acknowledge them and validate them, I notice that helps me with my anger with other people because I'm a little less dependent on other people validating my feelings, right? The thing about validation is we need a little bit of it from other people. We can't completely give it to ourselves because we're social creatures. And like if I'm able to do a little bit of that myself, I don't get as angry at other people because I'm able to say like, God, I'm really upset and I don't need them to validate it.
Lindsay, how do you manage?
I am just kind of getting to the point that I can a little bit manage and a little bit find that time and space between stimulus and reaction, right? I think that sobriety really was a sobering, no, but it really brought that rage into like, you gotta deal with it now. Okay. Like the symptom is actually, gonna kill you. So when I got sober, the very next week I went and finally saw a doctor and got this diagnosis. And that has definitely helped me manage it just by getting closer to skills, by humbling myself and going to, and talking about it. And so that has been really helpful. I think I have a best friend who, it makes me really sad because I just think like a lot of people that I see are just in bad positions. I'm just like, they just never had a her, right? Like they never had like a friend like that, So I just, I thank God for that. And she has taught me a lot of grace and forgiveness. And I think finally letting somebody teach me that, being able to be touched and affected by that. So those are the coping skills that I'm using thus far. And it's helped a lot. It has helped a lot. There is a long, long way to go. But my goodness, the power surge I feel when I can handle one of those situations, or just the lightness I feel, the worthwhileness I feel of being on earth during those moments is everything. And they're like, the frequency is building and building, the muscle is building. So yeah, and I'm finally finding y'all's like little page in the universe of Instagram, you know what I mean? Just learning from people, and yeah, this just letting this community in, and I'm so glad that I came across it. So everything, just picking up stuff like this has been really helpful. What about for y'all?
I already mentioned previously hitting a pillow. That's definitely been helpful for me. So if I feel like I really want to get it out, like a pillow is the next best thing, definitely better than a person. So we'll go with that. The second thing is going to the gym. Because again, it's like that idea of like letting it out. And in that session, I'll try and push myself to higher weights. Well, I will push myself to higher weights. Not like Arnold in the documentary, because that's next level, but slightly lighter weights than that. But still, I'll say, if I can do whatever it is with 6 kilos, then I'll go with 8 kilos or something like that. So I really like push myself and really like lean on that anger to like really go for it and let it out. And then the other thing, which is so useful, I ask for venting time. So either husband, he gets that a lot, or a friend. And I say, can I just be angry and vent for like 2 minutes? I'm happy for you to put a timer on if you want to. And you can just listen, like, you can fake listen is okay. And I just stand there and I will pace, and I will just be like, this is what happened and I'm so angry and da 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 da. But they know, like, because I've asked first, they have the opportunity to say, yep, I can take it right now, or, can we do it in 10, or can you ask someone else? And B, they know they don't need to solve a problem. I don't need them in this moment to tell me like, because you're angry about this is what you can do. I know I'll get there. I just need to let it out. And this moment of saying, can you give me 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or if you need 5 minutes, but they really need to love you for 5 minutes is a long time. And you need to be very angry, because when you're allowed, when you're given the space, it's surprising. Sometimes after 30 seconds, I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel better. And it's like, it's only been 30 seconds. You still have a minute and a half if you want.
I love that thing with the timer, because I feel like that's one of the things that I have not always done well in the past, is like there will be some situation and I'll go to someone and it just rehash it over and over and over again, sort of endlessly. So I really love that idea of being like, this is just a short term to get it out. It's not a thing that I'm going to go on for hours or days or weeks about, right? It's just I really like that. I'm gonna write that down.
I once heard, and I can't remember where, so apologies for that, this story about, okay, say you're driving your car and someone cuts right in front of you and you have an anger response. You're like, this idiot, and you're yelling in your car because how dare they do that, and it's dangerous. Blah, blah, blah. Who is the anger impacting? The person can't even hear you. The anger is impacting just you. And I think about that story a lot when I feel like we were talking about the feeling of when it's boiling up. And I just think about that and I'm like, who is this gonna hurt? Like, what is gonna be the impact? And if it's just gonna hurt you, like, is there a different way? And that helps as well.
And Solen, as you were saying, to your point, who does the anger really hurt, right? They can't hear you. They can't anything. And it takes me back to when I would fight with my roommates and I would think, look how articulate and angry I am. And one time my roommate just looked back at me before they were going out and he goes, I feel really bad for you. And it wasn't a dig. It wasn't anything. And I go, like, I could tell because he cared about me. And he said, because we get to leave and you just have to sit in this. And it was the first time I'd heard that. And I was gutted. Obviously, I would not show him that, but I was gutted. That was exactly what my whole life was stewing in the anger and then just flinging it at people like hot soup when I would be around them.
I've had that thought a lot, especially like from when I was younger, when I was like, I don't have the energy to get angry. I cannot be bothered getting angry. I'd much rather just understand. Like if someone cuts in me, someone interrupts, someone's been a dick to me, I'm like, that guy's life probably just sucks. And like now I can say like, yeah, my life's awesome. I don't have the energy to be angry at that person. Like, so it doesn't really happen a lot. But I was thinking of what we were saying before about the coping stuff with the anger. I think I've got a lot of mechanisms in place that do help with that. I'll go to the gym maybe like 4 to 5 times a week and get that exercise out. And there's usually like go for about 40 minutes of walking on top of that. Yoga, sometimes video games, writing music is a big one. Like I've always found it weird that like I seem to be very like super chill and happy, but my music is like abhorrently aggressive. Like music was a really good way to put it out. I think that's all I do. But yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think along with what everyone said and the self-validation part that I talked about earlier, the big thing for me is the boundaries, like not putting myself in situations, not maintaining relationships with people that make me angry. And I think about boundaries is more so about my own behavior versus theirs. I can't control what they do, but I can control what I do in response, right? Like, for me, one of the big things that tends to bring up anger is just the internet, the social media, ignorant comments people make on things. And I've had to learn how to accept that I can't engage in conversations with people there. It's just it's too much for me. So I have to be really mindful about how I engage with people online, and just removing myself from situations where I'm getting too angry because it's not worth it.
I think one of the other things that's really helped me was something that I learned in DBT, which is to stick my face in a bowl of cold water when I'm really angry. I use it actually not just for rage, but other really intense emotions when I'm feeling so dysregulated that I just can't think clearly. And I fill up a bowl with cold water, I hold my breath, and I submerge my face. And I try to hold my breath for 20 to 30 seconds. And that helps to activate the body's diving response. It lowers your heart rate. And in moments when I'm not at home, I try to do other things. So like I was in my therapist's office one time and I was starting to dissociate, and she gave me a couple of cans of soda, cold cans of soda out of the refrigerator. And I just put those on my face and sort of held my breath. And it's not as good as sticking my face in the bowl of cold water, but that temperature change and holding my breath and activating that body diving response really helps to just calm down my nervous system so that it's easier for me to think through the situation and deal with it in a more effective way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool science, actually. I remember when I first learned about it, I was like, what is this DBT Mumo Jumbo? But it's based on the science of the mammalian dive reflex, which is when we're diving into cold water, basically our whole body kind of slows down so that we can conserve our energy and our oxygen and stuff. I show a video with my clients where it shows like all the different things that like diving in cold water does to your body, and it's pretty cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, I'm finding my bowl. I'm finding my signature bowl today. Oh wow.
If it's too much with the if it's too much with the full head in the ice water, you can also like hold ice cubes and like as they melt, and
take a cold shower.
Takes a while, or take a cold shower. Or if it's winter in London, then you can just walk outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sandy, that is hardcore, girl. That is hardcore.
If I'm totally honest, there are times I'm not the one who thinks about it. It'll be my husband will say, "Hey, is it time to use cold water?" Mm-hmm. And then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing I can do." So it does help if there's someone around who can help remind you.
I want a man's like that. That would be nice.